Hello. I'm going to film a TBR for the month of August. It is currently August 9th. My TBR kind of ran from July into August. I've been really busy these last few months just with everything, with life, and I have tried to find time to read, but I've also been struggling with time on my phone and time spent online and watching videos on YouTube and just the rabbit holes you get yourself into. My goal for this year reading was 14 books because I'm just getting back into reading. I used to be a huge reader when I was younger, and just last year I found that I do love reading and I want to get back into it. And I do have a huge physical TBR, lots of physical books that I have not yet read. So I'm trying to get through the bulk of those this year, even though I'm only scratching the surface. This year, I just finished a book today. I finished Salem's Lot by Stephen King, my first Stephen King book. That was pretty cool. That was my 18th book this year, which I've surpassed my goal, so that's really good, but I'm still trucking along. I have kind of a rough outline of my TBRs for the next few months in this year, and my rough estimate for everything is 30 books this year, which would be kind of crazy if I could pull it off, but beside the point, I'm gonna quit my rant. I'm gonna show you my TBR for this August. Salem's Lot was on my TBR to finish this month, and I just did that today, so that's one of the books. I grabbed the stack. I'll show you the stack from my nightstand. Very colorful. So I have, this first one is called Water. I think it's a series because it says book 1. Ascension series? Really, no idea. I found this at a thrift store and I thought it looked amazing. It looks so cute. I think it's definitely a kid's book. It says it was published in 2002. It does have pretty big letters, so this is going to be a quick read for me, which I don't have any problem with that. I have read a few like YA or a few like even children's books this year, just because they're on my shelf or I wanted to reread them, so I'm excited to finish this one. This one is a little interesting. This is called Little Kingdoms by Stephen Millhauser. I did pick this up in June, I believe. Maybe it was early July. And I read like the first chapter and it was very weird. The way it was written, I was trying to comprehend it. I got this at a secondhand bookstore in Kansas City, and it just looked interesting. This guy, Stephen Millhauser, apparently has a lot of books. I don't really know much about him, but there's a lot at the thrift store or at the bookstore, and it just seems really interesting. I don't even know. Okay. The print is really close together, which kind of scares me. It kind of looks like a textbook, but I would be interested. I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't get to this one this month, but I'd be interested to see what it is about if I do end up getting into it. Next, this book I've had on my shelf for probably about a year. I don't quite remember where I got it. It's called Sex at Dawn. I haven't really heard much about it. I think I might have got it at Barnes & Noble. I think I paid full price for it. It looks great. I also know nothing about this book. I think I picked it up because I liked the cover. And I read the part that says how we mate, how we stray, and what it means for modern relationships. And I was like, sounds interesting. I love when books do this. I love when they have little quotes at the beginning of each chapter. The Salem's Lot book I just read also did that, and I think that's so cool. Also, it is set up kind of like a textbook. There's tables. Okay, so this whole thing is the index and notes. It ends on page 312. I feel like starting school and trying to get through this book is gonna be a challenge for me. I start school on the 18th. Okay, next one. This book, everybody knows, and I haven't read it yet because I buy all these popular book talk and booktube books and then don't end up reading them, and I just like to look at them on my pretty little shelf and dream about what they'd be like and talk about that I own them, but then have never read them. So here is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I found this at, let me see. I think I found this at a secondhand because, okay, no. I got this at the Raven bookstore in Lawrence, which is not a bad thing, but I apparently read 4 pages into this book. I'm interested to see how I like it because I'm not huge into romances, and I think this has something to do with romance and drama. I also bought this book for my mother for her birthday in May, and I was wanting to read it with her. So I don't know if that will happen, but I definitely want to get through this book in the next couple months, if not this month. I'm excited to see how it stands up to the reviews I've heard. But this book is around 300, 400 pages. Next, Detransition Baby by Torrey Peters. Love the cover. I like covers that sound like this, if you know what I mean. All these are paperback, except for a couple, but because I love my, you know, that kind of thing. This one I've seen everywhere because of how it looks probably, but I'm hoping it's more than just a cover. I've seen it on, I hate the word, but I've seen it on Bookstagram. I know it is a LGBTQIA plus book. I don't really have much to say. I bought this from Barnes & Noble. This is a new book. I am the first owner. And there's reviews from the New York Times, Entertainment Weekly, Vogue. That is so cool. I love it. National bestseller. Alrighty, next one is a poem book. I touch the earth touches me. This one is very beautiful. I am trying to remember where I got this. I believe it was one of 2 places. It was either at the bookstore in Kansas City, the secondhand bookstore, or it was from, I don't think it's from the library sale I went to because then it would have a library thing on it. So I think it was from that place. I've been loving poetry books lately, ones that just sound so lyrical and poetic. There's some dog-eared pages, which I love, from previous readers. And it has cute little detailing in it. I think when I got this, I was really obsessed with getting tattoos, and I think I wanted to get a tattoo out of this book because they're all so pretty. But yeah, I'm not really sure what to expect from this, but I'm excited to read it. It looks very interesting. I don't have anything else to tell you about it. Next, the next 2 books are from my Book of the Month box. I signed up in March, so I think April was my first book. I got a book in April and a book in May, and I skipped June and July, and I got a book this month. But I have not read either of my Book of the Months yet, so I'll show you. I wanted to get through both of them this month, and I'm currently reading one of them. The one I'm currently reading is True Biz. The only beef I have with Book of the Month is that they're hardcovers, and they're really big, and I don't like this. But I guess it makes it easier to tell where you got them from, and it makes it more unique, because if you get a lot, they all match up. And hardcovers are, since I'm spending $15, it's nice to have a hardcover. I would pay $8 a month and get a soft, or a paperback though, but here we are. True Biz is a pretty good book so far. I think I am only 81 pages in. I was reading this one and Salem's Lot at the same time. It is a novel. I believe it's contemporary fiction. It tells a story from 3 different perspectives, as far as I know, because that's how far I am into it. But it is a young girl who is deaf, and she has an implant, and she grew up in a household with split parents, and she never really learned sign language or interacted with anyone else in the deaf community. So she's been having to kind of live her life like she is hearing, even though she mainly reads lips and hears the vibrations from her cochlear implant. And then another point of view is the teacher at the school for deaf, that I forget the little girl's name. I think it's Charlie. Yeah, that Charlie goes to. Yes, Charlie. And the teacher is deaf, but also has the implant, and is married to a woman who is hearing. And so that's kind of an interesting dynamic. And the teacher is really... Oh, what Merlot? What Merlot? The teacher is really worried about the student Charlie. And then it's now just starting to follow a boy who also goes to school. He is completely deaf, he does read lips, and he is kind of Charlie's guide at the school, and I'm just learning about his life. So I'm liking it so far. When I was reading Salem's Lot, I looked up a reading vlog that a girl did, and I was following along with the reading vlog as I was reading Salem's Lot, and it made it really cool. I also looked up the soundtrack for the TV show or movie, I'm not sure which, what it is. I'm gonna have to watch it now, and I was listening to that while I was reading it, and movies and TV shows like it, and it was really interesting to kind of get in the mood for it. But since this book is so new, there is no really reviews other than a couple that I've found, and I don't want to read one that spoils it. So yes, that's my April book of the month. Last one on my TBR this month is Take My Hand by Dolen, Perkins, Valdez. This book it follows a woman, a nurse, in 1973 in Montgomery, Alabama. It's kind of like a historical fiction in a way, more of a activist novel, I'm gonna assume. I don't really know that much about it. I got it for my May book of the month, and I was really excited because it was talking about women's rights, and it's talking about women's health care, and I thought that was really fitting. Everything that was going on within our country during that time. So I'm excited to read this and see what it's about and all. Really all I have for my TBR this month. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 books. So if I finish all of them, then I'll have read 9 books this month, which is insane. The most I've read in a month this year is 4. So no promises, but I'm definitely gonna try. And yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye.